Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Max.
Here we are, three of us. If Patreon's your thing, check out the link in the description below. Loads of stuff on there, all starting for a bargain price of just
£1.50 a month.
Bargain, that is. Check it out, loads of stuff on there. Bad movie fights versus good movie fights.
Right, okay.
Anything spring to mind?
Well,
A few good fighters in it. Like John Wick's always good for a good punch.
I've actually never seen
Yeah.
John Wick's. I've heard they're really, really good.
I think we said the other day, like the stuff with Jason Statham in Lockstock and things like that.
Yeah.
They're all really, really good fight scenes in them.
Trying to think of bad movie fights. I can't really.
I think like Jason Bourne, he has
Yeah.
great action in that. Everything with Tom Cruise, they're always really good. Fight scenes and stuff like that, well choreographed.
Should we get into it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Она тут! Третий этаж! Давай, давай!
This is Volume 2 in Bad Movie Fights versus Good Movie Fights. In Volume 1, you learned that a good fight should have stakes, clarity, and editing that best serves the action. Anything with shaky cam is a major no-no. Anything with choppy editing to cover up actors who can't fight is a major no-no. And remember, no guns allowed.
Yeah.
I've seen this
So,
before.
let's do this. Let's start off with a good fight. This scene is from the film Mission Impossible Fallout. Much like the Bourne films, which had to find their rhythm to really figure out what they were doing,
This is Jason Bourne.
the Mission Impossible series have gone through the same journey, starting off as a very Hitchcockian spy thriller to an action-packed Hong Kong-esque movie to something more drama-based
It's up to you how this goes.
Because you know what I'm gonna do next? I'm gonna find her. Whoever she is, I'm gonna find her and I'm gonna hurt her.
to finally settling on being a series that is constructed around elaborate set pieces. And this fight sequence is Henry Cavill's finest moment as an action star so far. The hand-to-hand combat in this scene is excellent. Now don't get it wrong, there are maybe too many cuts in this scene. The real genius of shooting an action scene is to keep the cuts minimal. But the cuts used here are always intentional and are used to progress the action rather than mask the blows. This is a simple example. The close-up of a hand taking the pipe, completely necessary and clear. What makes this fight even more exciting is that our protagonists are actually getting their asses kicked. They could and should lose this fight. They have bitten off more than they can eat with this antagonist. And just when the hand-to-hand combat gets to its peak, we introduce the endgame, a gun. Now in fairness, at this point here, he probably would have shot Ethan Hunt, played by Tom Cruise, but the day is saved by the much-loved character.
I think movies with a badass woman in it are always the best. When you get like an evil, that character that comes in sort of like just
One that
goes,
surprises you.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're the best ones.
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah.
Or a woman that can kick someone's ass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, proper goes to town on them.
What really makes this scene so good are the stakes involved and the lack of power that our protagonists hold. Christopher McQuarrie
Good move,
is a
that.
somewhat underrated writer and director.
Where it's Tom and a cameraman, and Tom doing actual dialogue in
Like
free
Pat
fall.
McAfee.
Where's your heart and mind at that point?
It's very much an out-of-body experience. It's life and death stakes, and it's very, very real. You're what we call in present time.
His true genius came to the fore in the early part of his career when he wrote
Give me the fucking keys, you fucking cocksucker motherfucker!
The Usual Suspects,
How many keys, you cocksucker?
In English, please.
Excuse me.
In English.
How many fucking keys, you cocksucker? What the fuck?
And he has gone on to be an interesting action director. The filmmaking here serves its purpose without being overbearing.
Can you still make a mask?
I need a face to make a mask.
Which nicely takes us to... So, we're back to shaky cam and quick editing to cover up actors' lack of fighting abilities. Now, there's no doubting that the original Taken film was a guilty pleasure classic.
I will look for you. I will find you.
Classic line.
Yeah.
And I will kill you.
Very basic storyline, very good acting from Neeson, and ultimately some nice set pieces. Taken 2, however, is simply overbearing. Same storyline as 1, with a bigger budget. And this scene is how you should not shoot an action sequence. Now, firstly, the problem comes from the casting itself. At this stage, Liam Neeson was 60 years old. In great shape, but still 60 years old. So this scene is already highly unbelievable. In my bad movie car chases versus good movie car chases, the word I always use is visceral. This fight is reminiscent of the fight from Volume 1 in this series, Colombiana. Choppy editing, lack of geography, shaky cam. And maybe the biggest complaint is the real lack of fighting style. It really does look like two old middle-aged men fighting
It does, to be
outside,
fair.
but less visceral. For visceral film,
I like the way he's breaking this down because it's,
Yeah.
you know, for your amateur eyes like we've got,
Yeah.
sort of thing. You look at it and you think, yeah, you know, it looks
Yeah,
sort of
looks
like
all right,
looks realistic enough.
Yeah.
But when he says that, it looks like two middle-aged men. Sort of like, sorry, when
Slapping
you look at
each
it, it
other,
does, doesn't it?
Guess
Yeah.
what? See what they mean about the shaky cam and
Yeah.
all the cuts,
Yeah.
you know,
Cutting it,
like,
yeah.
makes it look a bit more sort of like fluid and a bit more
Yeah.
action-packed than it probably is,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
filmmaking, when it comes to fighting, there is one scene that sticks out amongst many. This incredible sequence from the film Saving Private Ryan is masterfully directed by a director who's often accused of being too whimsical, Steven Spielberg. It's simply incredible. Without me even giving you context, you can feel how real this scene feels. Now, there are a number of elements at play here. The cinematography by Janusz Kaminski is stunning. You can almost see the grit in the film stock here. The proximity at which Spielberg keeps the camera is fantastic. We are in the scene, not at a distance. And Saving Private Ryan is primarily a drama, so the use of its dramatic actors really helps the scene rather than hinder it, especially as Private Mellish, played by the brilliant Adam Goldberg, pleads for his life.
Listen to me! Listen to me! Stop! Stop! No, 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 no,
But what frames the scene even more is the incredible acting just outside the room by the hugely underrated Jeremy Davies, who cowardly chooses to not interject. And lastly, a huge element of the scene is the lack of music. It just really adds life to the scene. But unlike car chases,
Brilliant, that.
not all fight scenes have to be visceral to really land a blow. These amazing fight scenes from Hero aren't visceral at all. In fact, they're rather surreal. In conception, there isn't much difference between these scenes and this.
Got Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
In execution, there's a huge difference.
Wow.
Which is why the art and craft of filmmaking is sometimes so underappreciated. Now, Steven Seagal is an easy target, so we won't linger on him for too long. But he started off his career with rather good fight sequences, including a really good cameo in the movie Executive Decision.
We're not gonna make it!
to simply phone in his performances and fight it like this. Now, if you're going to fight Mike Tyson in a movie, it's got to be
Looks CGI, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is the fight from the film Ip Man 3. Now, many of you didn't like the scene from Ip Man 1 that was featured in Volume 1 of the series. Many thought it to be too clinical, with too many fighters waiting to take their turn to be hit. It's a common problem in filmmaking when it comes to fight sequences, but one film manages to solve the problem.
Yeah, I love that.
This 7-minute-long action sequence is notable for two things: being a one-take sequence and being, by far, the best thing about the film. Because in actuality, the film is rather dull, and the box office returns suggest that the audience thought so too. But this sequence is masterful. Characters not waiting around to be attacked. Our protagonist is in real danger. She could be hurt, and she has to protect another character who can't fight. It has a lot of the hallmarks from her first film in this video, Mission Impossible Fallout. Now, don't be fooled into thinking this is all just one long continuous take. There are plenty of hidden cuts in the sequence, especially as the camera.
That guy who she's taking out there, he's in loads of stuff.
Yeah,
but I don't know his name.
Yeah. I don't recognise him then.
But he's in fucking loads of stuff.
Yeah.
He always plays a very similar, like, meeky little character, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, apart from he played like a, was it Ray Donovan, the show? What's it? He plays Bunchy in that.
Yeah,
and,
you're right.
He plays like a ex-boxer who's got Parkinson's.
That's
right,
right.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But he played the, I didn't realise English.
I was just going to say that. There's another one with a great accent, because I used to watch that and thought, oh yeah, like this guy's American, but he's actually English, isn't he?
Yeah, because I watched, is it a man on a boat and he's a man and a wife on a boat or something?
That's
or a canoe,
right. Ah, yeah, he was in that
where
one.
he faked his death. Yeah, and only when I watched that and I heard him speak, I went, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I went, he's English.
Unless he was American, put on an English
also an
accent.
English
I Googled it.
But,
I had to Google it. I was like, no way I'm having he's English.
Really?
And it was, yeah. And I've seen him in loads of stuff.
He's one of those everywhere, but you don't know his name.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Goes behind a character. However, the scene is still simply brilliant. Charlize Theron, who we featured before, always commits to
Another
her
great
role,
actress.
especially when physicality is involved. David Leitch, who co-directed the original John Wick, handles the action sequences brilliantly.
That's great, that.
But as often in his work, his storytelling isn't quite as well handled, and the ending of the scene is just uber cool.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Am I a bitch now?
And how fitting that Atomic Blonde features this guy. Who features in this scene, which does Atomic Blonde better than even Atomic Blonde. This is a scene from Barry, an episode called Barry versus Lily, directed by the lead actor Bill Hader. And this scene is actually just called Barry versus Ronnie. In a truly sensational scene that does everything that the two good scenes we featured today also does: provides danger, pushes our protagonist to the limit, makes them tired.
Champion of something. Look at all the medals.
Yeah.
Trophies.
Yeah.
Fine. Funny, you're hurt, man. Your windpipe's busted, man. See, your windpipe's busted.
And makes us think that they might be used to fight. Now, of course, he doesn't, but the fight doesn't end there. When Ronnie's daughter gets home.
What's this?
I've never seen this before. This is Barry. You
seen
know Bill Hader, the
Yeah,
comedian?
yeah.
It's his show that he directs and stars in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've never even heard of it.
Really
No, I've
good.
not.
I think he plays a hitman who wants to then like change.
Yeah.
And he always keeps going back.
Going back to it,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's it's good. Really
What's he
funny.
called? Barry?
Just Barry. Yeah.
I've never even heard
Really,
of it.
really good.
Yeah, it's brand new to me.
Brilliant
that.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. What channel's it on?
I think HBO.
HBO.
Yeah. Sky Atlantic.
It's quite funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go get her, Barry.
I'm not killing a kid.
You sound like a creep, but you want to get in the car with me and my friend?
Actually can, because Barry's TV, and this is Bad Movie Fights versus Good Movie Fights, Volume 2. Which of these
This
fights
was
do you think
great.
was the best? And which bad and good movie fights should I cover next? Let me know in the comments, and until we speak again,
Yeah, I like that channel
That
as well.
looks
That.
quite
That's
fun,
good. That Barry looks great.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to get on
watch
that.
it. It's really good.
That looks that line. I don't want to be creepy or anything. Do you want to get in the car?
Eating sweets or some old crisp.
Do you want to get in the car with me and my friend? Looks really funny, that. Oh, man. Enjoyed that. I enjoyed his breakdown because it puts into perspective to the amateur eyes like we've got to watch movie scenes like that.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
seeing Steven Seagal scenes is really funny anyway.
hey,
Dude, it's sat down.
I've been in a shop. I went in a bakery in New Jersey. He owned,
Really?
and I'm looking at him thinking, "Are you sure that's Steven Seagal?"
Yeah.
You know, like, and I'm looking at him, and he's like, "Hey," I'm like, "That's again." I went, "Is that Steven Seagal?"
Yeah.
And like, you're whispering, like,
Yeah.
and he stood there behind a counter.
Oh, really?
Wow.
I mean, to be fair, his first movie or two were quite good.
Yeah.
You know, clearly, he was pretty good at taekwondo. I think that's his main thing, isn't it? Or aikido.
Yeah, he
So I
was,
think
he
it's
was,
taekwondo, and he's more like wrist locks and doing stuff like that. But then over the years, you
Got
saw in
too
that
old,
fight
didn't
scene, it looked, you know, they obviously had editing it so it looked quicker.
Yeah.
And then it was just sort of like,
Yeah, he got too old, didn't he?
Yeah.
Had his day.
Yeah.
did.
Do you ever hear his music that he released?
Steven Seagal? No.
It's one of the worst things.
Really?
oh man, that's why I've not heard it.
I've heard a reggaeton version of Steven Seagal that he's.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I
Look
won't be
that up.
searching that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I enjoyed that. It was good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.